Hi, Dan Fontaine of Fontaine Network back again, and welcome. Uh, Last time we talked about a little bit about your why and your purpose, your passion. Why would you, or are you considering if you are a home-based business, or why do you have a business, a job that you're doing, that sort of thing. And looking into what your motivation is, very important, because without a strong why, a purpose, may not take the pains, make the effort, continue to work towards the goal that you believe is important to you. So you need to be sure that the why is big enough. And then I mentioned, talk about the power of habit or habits, and read a good book by that name, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and I found it very informative, very helpful, and I'm utilizing it to change some habits that I believe would benefit me, or that don't benefit me, that I would like to replace with something more positive. Scientists believe that basically our brain has created habits to save energy, to save effort. Things we do automatic, the brain doesn't have to use so much concentration or power. It's automatic, we do it. And they can become positive or negative, whatever it is we're trying to accomplish with a habit. And great thing to know is we can change them if we understand how they work, and we can change them if we believe that we can. Belief will be a very important part of this, and I'll talk about that on Monday. So researchers at MIT found that there is a habit loop, what they call a habit loop. It's 3 parts. There's a cue that triggers our brain to go into autopilot, and which habit to use for a certain situation. That cue sends us to a certain habit. There's a routine that cue sets off, and that can be physical, mental, or emotional. Say, seeing tennis shoes by your bed in the morning when you get up, routine, tie them on, go for a run. Then there's the reward, and this helps your brain figure out if this particular loop is worth keeping. So what might be a reward for going out and jogging or going to the gym? Perhaps it's the endorphins, that kind of runner's high, that rush that you get from a good exercise. Perhaps it's feeling better, right? It's releasing tensions and whatnot, making you healthy. That's the reward, maybe. The more you practice these routines, these habits for these rewards, they become more and more automatic. Now, one of the interesting things is the more the cue, what sets this off, and the reward become intertwined, it will be the more powerful you get a sense of anticipation or a craving for that reward. And the craving actually is the key to a habit, and changing a habit or creating a habit. So that's something we're going to go into in a little more depth on Monday, because the craving powers the habit loop. What is it that reward, what is it about the reward that you crave? So we'll look into that. So to overpower a habit, we're going to have to recognize what that craving is that's driving your behavior, my behavior. Because once your brain starts to expect that reward, to crave that reward, to crave that endorphin high, or in a bad way, to crave the sugar buzz from a donut, something like that. Once it starts to expect that reward, you're hooked. So the cue, along with triggering a routine, also has to set off or trigger that craving. Once that happens, there's your habit. So the craving is an essential part of the formula for these new habits. So as I say, understanding what a habit is and knowing that you can change it if you want to change it. Some are easier than others. People stopping smoking. Sometimes, say, stopping smoking would be a keystone habit, like so much else revolves around your life or lifestyle because of your smoking. And it's possible that changing that keystone habit starts to alter cravings and rewards on other parts of your life. So that's something we'll talk a little bit more about. One thing I'd suggest, if you are interested in the book, research it a little further. It's The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And I tend to buy books. I go to Amazon, I go to the new used section. I can get some used books in very nice shape or condition. And even with postage, still a third, a fourth less than if I were to buy the book new. So for me, or go to the library, that sort of thing. For the weekend, or maybe a little assignment or a little challenge, something maybe could be fun too. Identify some routines that you do with basically almost not thinking. So it's going to be taking some, paying some attention, and some routines that don't necessarily serve you. And write a few of those down, and we'll go into that. So great, thank you for listening. And my Halloween recommendation or idea for Halloween this year anyway, I saw a little article about taking the inner tube of a toilet paper roll, or it could be a paper towel roll, that sort of thing, cutting eyes into it or little patterns, whatever you'd like, maybe even just boo, but cut those out like you might a pumpkin, and put little glow sticks in them, and you can hide them in tree or put them in trees, so in a dark area suddenly there are a pair of eyes that are glowing out at you. So it might be fun if you're a big Halloween person, like a friend of mine, Cheryl, is. And we'll talk to you on Monday. Take care, and thanks for listening.